Hi, I'm Marty with SPM Visuals, and I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by today. And let's just skip any crazy intros and just jump right into it. So today, we're going to talk about one of the most popular lenses for photographers, and we're going to talk about why it's so popular and why it's probably the best choice for you as a beginner, the 50mm prime. So, reason number one, look how small this is. This is with the lens hood on. You take that lens hood off, close it down like this, boom. Look how small and compact that is. Now, you keep this in a fanny pack or something like that if you had a different lens, or just if you wanted to break your camera down, or if you just want to, if you're out shooting and you want to be inconspicuous, this is going to be a great lens because you're not waving around a giant lens and there's not 1,000 people coming up to you asking you if you'll take their picture, and people who don't know about photography only think you're a real photographer if you have a giant Canon of a lens on, like something like this big. If you walk around with this, you're in the clear, you're good. That's another reason it makes it great. It's inconspicuous and it helps you, lay low. And so small and inconspicuous, that's a point in my book. 2, extremely lightweight. This lens is one of the lightest lenses I've ever used, and that's why I still use it. I could afford to go get a nicer 50mm, a more expensive one, but why? This one does everything I need. It's sharp and it's lightweight and it gets the job done. Another perk about the 50mm is that this is as close as we can get to the human eye and how we see. So you're not gonna get that crazy distortion, or like your image is all warped, or like somebody looks like elongated and all weird. You're not gonna get that with a 50. It's gonna look almost exactly how they look in real life, which can be really cool because if you can get some really good angles on your images, it won't look super fake, if you know what I'm saying. It's gonna look realistic. You can show people something in a way that they've never seen it. And that's, in my opinion, that's a big part of photography. Maybe that might be the whole point of photography. Most lenses that have an aperture this low are over $1,000. You can get this one for $116, used or refurbished. That's another win in my book, especially for a beginner. You don't want to go out and spend $1,000 on a lens, and you barely know how to change your aperture and your ISO and your shutter speed on your camera. And if you don't know what those are, or how to manipulate those, or why, I do have a video that you can go watch if you want, and it'll talk to you about that, and it'll explain to you the purpose of aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. This lens has a place in every niche of photography. Most lenses do not. Like a 16-35 does not have a place in portraiture. At 35, you could argue it does, but at 16, nah, people are gonna start looking like aliens. And then a 600 doesn't really have a place in portrait photography because now you look like a wide pancake. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the move. So a 50mm is like smack in the middle. That's kind of like the extremes of it, but a 50mm is a great place to start as a beginner. And this lens will take you super far. I'd highly suggest you guys look into it if you're looking or trying to decide what is the lens I should buy with my camera if it didn't come with one, or if I want to purchase a lens, I'm ready to stop using my kit lens. What lens should I get? It's this one. Also, this lens has a super low aperture. It's 1.8, which is way better than the kit lens you're probably using that has a variable aperture, which means it goes from some crazy number like f4 all the way up to like f6.3, which means so now if you're out shooting, all your images have a different depth of field. Some have bokeh and some don't, and some are lighter and some are darker, just like randomly. And now you have a headache when you're trying to edit your photos. That's how I learned actually when I got my first cameras, because I had a variable zoom kit lens, and then I learned how to edit photos, and I saw that they're all different and it takes way longer. So pro tip is if you have a prime, shoot all of your images at a consistent f-stop, and then now when you're editing, it's a breeze. That's a great perk to a prime lens, that you can say stop down to one. Another benefit of this lens is that because it's a prime, it's great for a beginner to learn with, in the fact that you have to move around to get different compositions for your photos. You can't just stand in one spot. You're gonna have to move around, get those low angles. If you see something you wanna shoot, you're gonna have to run over there, catch it, hurry up and catch it. Or if you see, like I like to take images where maybe there's something in the foreground and then there's a pedestrian walking and they're gonna split it right in the center. So you'll see them walking and you're gonna have to run and get in position with this and line up your image just right. So right when they walk through, it's click, 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 and you capture it. Whereas with the zoom, you might not have to do that because you could just cheat and zoom in across the street, something like that. So this is great to learn with, for learning like opportunity of when to take a photo, when a good photo is coming up, and how to compose a photo properly, and also how to edit, because now all your images won't be different when you edit them later on in Lightroom because your aperture wasn't changing everywhere. So cheap, lightweight, small, fast aperture, and applicable to multiple genres of photography. Perfect for a beginner. If you don't know what genre you're getting into, you don't want to break the bank, and you want a good quality lens that shoots sharp images, you want this lens, I'm telling you. So if you have Canon, they make a affordable 50 prime. This is Sony's affordable 50 prime. Nikon makes one. Olympus makes one. Hasselblad doesn't make anything affordable. Who else am I forgetting? It's Canon, Sony, Nikon, Olympus, Panasonic. They make great quality video cameras, by the way. That doesn't matter. And that wraps up all the points that I can come up with right now. So until next time, the interesting anywhere.